Hello again, everybody. This is another video fishing report from me here in Puerto Vallarta, Stanley Brook, with Masturbator Sport Fishing and Tackle. And you may have noticed last week I didn't put a video report out because there really wasn't anything to tell you. We had a hurricane go by and we were waiting for things to pick up a little bit, and they more or less didn't. You know, put it that way, they didn't pick up. Hurricanes do one of two things. Either come in, they push fish into the area, or they push fish out of the area. And when they push fish way out of the area, it kind of scraped the area right here. Everything got pushed out, you know, so we're just now starting to recover a little bit. We're seeing a little fish come back a little bit, little fish, big fish, bitty fish. You know, Corpatania, things were pretty blank. I had a friend named Ralph, and he went out fishing for 4 days straight, and couldn't pay to catch fish. Couldn't catch anything out there. It was just pretty bad. And I was having a pretty hard time telling people to go fishing last week, and so I just figured I'd leave it out there. People read these things years in advance, years down the road, watch these videos, and they hear that and they think it happened just yesterday, so I figured it was just better to kind of leave it alone. But continuing on, Corpatania right now is a little weak. We've got 80, excuse me, we got 80 100-pound tuna out there if you can find them. They're about 10 miles north of the island. There is a lot of bait out there still, but there's not that many fish out there eating them because, again, they've been pushed out and they haven't found their way back yet. Marlin, blue marlin, black marlin, running 350 to 500 pounds. Not too many of those running around out there. Sailfish as well, not too many out there. The ocean conditions are perfect. That's 88 degrees. And blue water at Corpatania. The deep water fishing areas got blue water. You know, I've been hearing some noise about La Nina. To be honest with you, normally this time of the year, the water temperatures are a couple degrees warmer. I mean, it's not really anything drastic or anything like that, but they're normally a couple degrees warmer. And we've had 88-degree water temperatures, and I'm thinking that's just about as warm as they're going to get. So that feels a little like La Nina, and of course with the currents out there being as weird as they are, that also feels like La Nina. And when I look at the Facebook pages for, you know, fishing buddies and things like that in Southern California, they're catching our fish. So it's a little bit frustrating to say the least, but there has been some signs of life coming back. And so basically Corpatania right now is probably your best bang for your buck if you're going to go out there and shoot for big fish. Marlin, tuna, sailfish. No Dorado out there. No Dorado. Cubera snapper is still out there. Haven't heard too much about that, but they're always out there. The bank had about 5 or 6 boats out there last week. One guy caught some fish, had a couple of strikes, nothing happened. A lot of bait around the what they call the pinnacles. The bank is it's a fishing ground. It's about 50 miles out there, and they've got 3 peaks that come up, you know, stalactites and stalagmites. Well, I don't know which one comes up from the bottom there, but they're 50, 60 feet down. They got 3 of them out there, and bait just swim around that. Plenty of bait, no fish. So one guy caught a marlin out there, and the other guy, I think, caught a big fat lie and went out there and spread around. But, you know, that's fishing for you. That's what people do. As you come in a little bit closer, you're around the El Morro, Punta Mita, Marietta Islands. Now, remember, the Marietta Islands are a protected area, so we don't talk too much about that, especially since they opened that tour out there. I mean, I don't know why it's protected, because everybody's been doing stuff to that island since World War II. But so that area is a little iffy, so you can't really go out and fish the Marietta Islands. The El Morro, we got some upwellings over there, and over at Punta Mita, we got a lot of trash in the water from the hurricane going by. And remember, we still have a lot of rain. We had so much rain last night, I couldn't see across the dock. It was just invisible. The boats were invisible from the rain. So we've got some Dorado out there, Punta Mita, El Morro, Punta Mita. We got some Dorado out there if you're lucky enough to come across a log or floating debris or something. They got some 20-pounders. That guy out there the other day caught about 5 20-pounders. It was really nice. It was a little surprising, but it was very nice. Rooster fish are springing up all over the place again. If you're over by El Morro, you could have some rooster fish over there. Nobody's been really fishing it over there, but it's popular with roosters, and they have a lot of upwellings, which they like. So if you're in the area, it might be worth a try. Sailfish north of Punta Mita as well, and of course, a few miles off the point there could be some marlin out there. You know, the thing is, these fishing reports are like a stake in the ground. We put a stake in the ground, we say what happened, the following day, everything can change. So, you know, don't take these fishing reports as law. they're correct for the moment. I made this thing, it's kind of like a picture, it's great at that moment, but by the time you actually see this, things can be completely different. So it's best if you want to fire me an email or give me a phone call, ask me what's going on, especially if you're here in town. I'll tell you, I'll give it to you straight. Even if you're a private boat or something like that, I have no problem talking to you. I mean, I got a lot of friends out there that like going fishing. So Punta Mita right now is very good if you're looking at Dorado. It's a good location for that. Inside the bay a little bit, down there by Vallarta, they've been seeing some rooster fish. So that whole area around the Punta Mita area would be a good thing. That'd be an 8-hour trip. So, if you got the money and you're patient, anything is possible out there. Inside the bay, we're seeing some interesting things. We're seeing Jack Crevalles. All of a sudden, we're catching Jack Crevalles out. Jack Crevalle, they will stay in warmer water, but they like colder water. So it's a little surprising that we got 88-degree water out there. We're still catching jacks, and I had a couple guys the other day catch a couple of nice-sized jacks. Very happy about that. Catching fish is always fun. They've also got Dorado over by Los Arcos. Now, Los Arcos is at the south end of the bay. There's not too many rivers over that way. In fact, there's no rivers over that way. So a lot of times you'll have clean water over there when you have any other clean water in the bay. And they've been seeing some rooster fish over there at Punta Negra. That's in front of Garza Blanca. So if you have a fishing pole, you want to do some surf casting, that would be a good place to go. You might have a shot at some good-sized rooster fish. We also have, well, I said Dorado already. Occasionally we'll see a sailfish in the bay, and sometimes we see more than an occasional type situation where there'll be quite a few of them out there. So that's also a possibility. And over by Yalapa, we've been seeing 40-pound tuna, but the tuna over there are a little bit different. You don't throw for those tuna, you've got to chum for those tuna, and you got to bring them up, and then they'll take a bait. So sardines work like gold over there, and the water's a little bit deeper, a little bit colder, but they got a channel that goes all the way out to Corpatania, so they kind of run back and forth on that. So if you're inside the bay right now, I would say a 6-hour trip might be better than an 8-hour trip. You can save a little bit of money, have a little fun. The bite's still not happening until later in the morning, 9:30. I've never seen such a thing like this. It's been like this for months now. And let me see. The marlin that they were catching the other day were on plastics. They're using lures. So make sure that you're running lures and live bait at the same time. You might want to try jigging. Try everything. Go through everything. See what happens, because it's been a little bit challenging. But that will change here pretty soon. We're in the high season right now for fishing, low season for tourism. It's really hot down here. Average days are around 90 degrees, and the humidity is going to be about 80%. So, if you're made out of sugar, you probably shouldn't come down here. And it rains, especially in the evening, so if you melt, you melt. Not a whole lot else to say about things this week, but, we're staying positive, and tourism is down, so even if the fishing isn't bad, fishing isn't all that great. There's not very many people walking the door. October 1st, we seem to see things change a little bit for some next month. I'm not really having too many expectations for fishing. And, I've been opening a little bit later, closing a little bit earlier. It's almost like a vacation. But like always, if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer anything you have to say, anything you have to ask. As long as it's not ridiculous. I do get some ridiculous. And I'm trying to think of anything else I can think of. Well, no, not really. The bars are open. The red flag down here has been removed. The bars are open. The nightclubs are open. There's no restrictions. Besides the normal stuff, if you're looking at COVID tests and you're not Canadian, the city has put up small trailers all over the city, and you can get a COVID test at will. So you can go get the test, go sit down, have a beer, have something to eat, go back, you're ready to go. It doesn't make that complicated. Most of them are around $20, 400 pesos, so there's nothing to avoid. The situation down here is actually not pretty bad. It's pretty good. I can't think of a better place to be in the whole world right now. I'm not going anywhere. So, well, I'll stop rambling. And once again, if you need anything, feel free to call us. Until then, this is Stan in Puerto Vallarta saying don't forget to catch your fish. And we'll see you next week, possibly. Maybe not even next week. Who knows?